Yay, what it do, y'all? How y'all doing today? What is cracking? Welcome to Solid Ground. I am your host, Solid, one of the most solid men on the app. And right here next to me, I have my lovely co-host and wife.
Hello. How you doing? Baby. I'm Shishi. I'm also a streamer. Catch me on TikTok now. Thank you, Brittany.
It's great. So, hey, look, check it out though, right? So, on Solid Ground, right? You guaranteed to just have some real inspiration coming up out of our guests. You know what I mean? Star Gang is in the building like they always is, right? Star Gang, if you see them stars out there, you know they mobbing deep. So off top, shout out to the Star Gang family. You feel what I'm saying? Off top of her. You hear me? But yeah, so today, y'all, we have a very special show, okay? Because today we actually kicking off what is known as National Poetry Month. National Poetry Month, in case y'all didn't know. It's not working, baby?
I gotta get it.
Okay. All right. Well, we just getting our sound system, making sure it don't go out on us. But like I was saying, right, today is National Poetry Month. All right. So I want to give y'all what happened? Still not okay. So let me give you some fun facts, you know what I'm saying, while we prepare for our guest. Okay. So I want to give y'all some fun fact right now. So National Poetry Month is a celebration held every April to honor the art of poetry. All right. And its important role in culture and society. Now, do any of y'all out there know when this month, this celebration actually was established?
I was just thinking, like, when did they start doing this? You know, it's 2025. It's a
lot of 2025, and they got a national day for everything, right?
A national month for everything.
Yeah. It
was like, Shamira, did you wear blue for work for national something? I'm like, what?
And you know what? Because when I got Brittany, when I got guests like like KindHearted, who is a repeat guest on this show. You know what I'm saying? For real. And she always got something for us. Yeah. I like to do a little bit of research on their passion. Okay. So I did a little bit of research on it, and it was actually established in 1996.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not, it's old if we talking to these YNs of today, right?
Not the YNs.
Yeah. We got an easy way to say it now, right? We got a better way to say it, right? You know what I'm saying? For real. So if we talking about them, right, then it'd be easier to establish that, because to them, 1996, a lot of them was just born. Right. And they swear they grown. You know what I'm saying? They swear they grown. So
Brittany, you're not the only one, girl.
And so in 19, hey, listen, I was today years old when I found this out.
They be making stuff up.
In 1996, it was established by the Academy of American Poets in the United States. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Straight up. You know what I'm saying? Look at innocent and godly. Yes, baby, you is looking like a school teacher.
Oh my goodness.
Right?
The school teacher is crazy.
Right?
Why
Sam, what up? What up, everybody?
Though?
How y'all feeling, man? I
Sam,
appreciate
hello,
y'all
hello.
being
Blended,
here.
I see you in the building. Brittany, hello, everybody. Go
Now,
y'all.
what do you think, baby? What do you think it was? What was the goal when they established this? Like, what would you think is the goal for them establishing National Poetry Month?
Just to get the poetry out, because poetry is another word for poetry is like preaching. It's like something like spoken word. Like,
Facts.
you know, it takes a talent to deliver it. You have to have that in you. It can't. I don't think that could be something that's taught. So for that to be a thing, it needs to be recognized more.
Mm-hmm.
You
Now,
know?
and that's correct. I don't think
Yes.
there's a wrong answer, for that question I just asked.
Right.
And so part of their goals was to celebrate the legacy and achievements of poets. Okay.
Right.
And I know it's a lot of y'all out there that really be with that poetry. It's a lot of y'all that got it in the cut. Y'all only do it for yourself. But let me tell you, man, come share some of that.
Yeah.
Because your words is inspiring. You feel what I'm saying? Your words is inspiring. So
I love it. Okay, Brittany.
You hear me? Look, another one. We're gonna book you.
Some of my favorite artists has that poetry type of vibe, you know.
Right.
So yeah, I think this yeah.
Okay, so now another one, you know what I'm saying? Whenever you ready. Another thing was to encourage people to read, write, and share poetry. I told you awesome. To read, write, and share your poetry. Okay.
Nice.
Now, another one is to promote poetry in schools, libraries, and communities. Okay. Wonderful reason, right? These are the reasons why this month was established. So I encourage y'all that in this month, which I'm sure it's a lot of it's a couple featured shows. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, like Lex the Gentleman, Pen Flow. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. These are places that I'm sure are gonna be going up. Yeah. Also, Blessed Seeing with her poetry on Wednesdays. So yeah, y'all tap in, get ready, because it's definitely up. Yeah, and we gonna get some real good poetry. Of good poets. So yeah. I ain't even told y'all who my guest is, but if y'all looked at the profile, then y'all know who my guest is. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna save a couple little moments and we're gonna let my guest up, you know what I'm saying? So she can most definitely introduce herself and bless the stage, y'all. Bless the stage. KindHearted.
Hello. Ooh, I love the color.
Thank you.
Hello. What's up, 5-star?
Thank you so much for having me. I always get so nervous and bashful. Hi, Shishi.
Hi. Right, Shay.
So for those people that's
okay. Babe, Queen of Carolot Land. I'm a nighttime streamer. You can always catch me anytime after 10 p.m. Eastern. I am one of the co-hearts of She Code every Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This month hosted in Top Badge 2 Cents Live. And if you don't catch me in Carolot Land, you can always find me where the stars are in the palace with my number one.
Hey. Okay. Hey, y'all heard it right there, man. KindHearted for Top Badge.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So Kind, let me let's crack it off like this, right? So tell us, because you are definitely cracking off the month of National Poetry Month. Tell us, let's start by telling us what poetry means to you.
Oh, poetry is, I really feel like poetry is a rhythm to the soul, right? It's the rhythm without the music, the words that we can't say, that we don't say. It's the flow within our spirit, the wind that lifts that spirit, lets it fly. At least for me, I think poetry is one of the most healing, therapeutic things that I do in my life. And it literally just lights my spirit ablaze. When I'm going through something crazy, writing down makes my spirit feel like it's released, it's flying. So I like to call it the wind that lets my spirit fly.
Okay. I like. Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, hey, no, that's, I mean, I'm sure
Yes.
if you was, and this is the beautiful part about poets and when they so deep into it, because I don't believe not one of them will give you the same answer.
No, it wouldn't be poetry.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna get
Everyone
the
has
same. Everyone has the
a-
same
a different story.
passion, but they have different reasons and different, you
Yeah.
know, things that, you know, help them light up. Now,
Poetry remind me of like the story because I listen. See, the music I like is like storytelling, lyricist type of music. Like if it's not that, I really don't. I can't get jiggy with it. So listening to poetry, it's like listening to someone's testimony and how they really feel about their testimony, how they really feel about life. You have to be passionate. It has to come strictly from within, from the heart. So to hear that and to have someone that could actually do that is amazing. And the fact that you learned to do it from your life, from your background, because I remember a lot of your background, how you grew up, how your foster, the lady, telling you, ripping your paper up, all of that. Yes, I remember.
We
So,
remember.
so the fact that it came from that testimony, it just makes it even that much greater. So, I are we gonna get to hear something?
Oh, you know we is.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? You know we are. And I know everybody, you know, it seems like we kind of was delaying on that, right?
Yeah.
But now before we get into that,
Right.
I just want to ask one more question, right? Because I did tell you to bring as much as you wanted. You know what I'm saying? But now, at what age did you discover poetry was your passion?
Okay.
When? You know, not just not necessarily age, but when. And like when you was like, yeah.
I would have to say, like, I call it my crazy years between 12 and 13. That's when everything, and it's crazy what I'm about to say. It's gonna sound crazy what I'm about to say, but I feel like everything I experienced in my life up into that point had caught up to me. And it's crazy to think that at 12 years old, I had so much crazy stuff that would have caught up to me that I kind of crashed. And that's when I really fell into writing. And that's when I realized I had a passion for it. It was something that brought me pleasure. It was something that brought me peace. It was something that brought me solace. It was a way for me to get out of my head and out of my own way, by writing it all down. And it was my crazy year. It was when, it was a crazy year for me. My mom had died. Like I said, life had caught up. And so I was at the lowest of lows, and I felt like writing, that's when I found it. That was when I realized that was for me. Like, that's what I can do when I'm on that cliff and there's no one to walk me off.
I got a question. Kind, have you ever done it like this is like kind of public, but you know what I mean? Have you ever done it like in a public setting, like libraries or the little spoken word clubs,
cafes,
bookstores?
When I first moved to Atlanta, my best friend took me to a poetry night, and I just thought it was like, oh, we're gonna go listen to some poetry. And then like 3 poets in, there was like calling to the stage, our next poet. I'm like, no. It was horrible. It was definitely horrible.
Not the setup.
I was like so nervous. I couldn't speak. People were staring at me and I got like really flustered. But then he told me he was like, you know what? I'm gonna let you start over. And the second time I killed it. It was fun.
Yay.
It was nice. That was the only time. I feel like I have stage fright. I'm really sensitive about like, I think poetry is really like personal. And so it's hard to do it. I give props to the ones who can, but it's hard to do my stuff in a room full of people that are staring me in my eyes. Like, you guys are staring me in my eyes.
if you, because I'm the type of person to watch a lot of documentaries on people and they come up stories and stuff, and a lot of great artists, they all have that same nerve thing that you're talking about, like going on stage. You would never know once they start, going with the flow, whatever. But I mean, that's where courage comes from the fear, and you still doing it equals courage. So, shout out to you for even having that courage and then being put on the spot like that. Girl, I would have left.
Now, you know what I just pictured? Right, because you say it's such a personal thing, and it's it's for you, right? What about like they turn the room completely dark with just the light on you, and enough for you to kind of reflect, like you, to make it feel like you are by yourself.
I think it's the fact that knowing you're on stage.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I feel like if it was like that, I feel like I know what you're talking about, right? I've seen these. I feel like I would be okay with that, right? But like the room would have to be like dead silent, blind audition.
Yeah. I think they would.
They let you hide behind the curtain. Like, give me a curtain box. No,
that'd be sick. That'd be dope.
That would be nice.
Because people would be so it'd have people being like extremely curious, like, who is that? You know what I'm saying? Because your poetry, as you know, I'm sure you about to share with us, is very deep. So hey, if y'all just joining us, this is Solid Ground. We're here every single Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You know what I mean? I'm here with my lovely co-host, my wife, Shishi, and our epic, just dope guest here, KindHearted. And it is the National Poetry Month, and we kicking it off.
Yes.
It's your flow. It's your show.
Yeah.
Okay. It hurts, yet I can't speak. I'm breaking, but they can't see, because somehow he's hidden me and I obliged. Somehow I willingly closed my eyes and cut ties. I'm bleeding, and there is no aid. Instead, I'm led to my feet because there are needs that are expected of me to meet. Yet I'm hurting. And if it's not just my spirit that he will beat. You see, I done cut the ties with my families and friends. I'm left to defend myself against the beast that I didn't know existed until the doors were shut. And I'm hurting. The same person that I said I loved and he said he loved me has now become the enemy. And unlike the first platoon, I have no weapons to defend me. He cut the ties for me and I obliged. He blinded me willingly. And here I am behind closed doors with no one to hear or defend me. I'm hurting, but I cannot speak. I'm breaking and they cannot see because he's hidden me and I obliged. I'm bleeding and there's no aid. And as I lay here, I'm thinking to myself, how did I cut those ties? How did I become so blind? I'm hurting, and yet the police and family and friends, they can't free me because I've chosen to lay and sleep with the enemy.
Oh, wow, that was deep. Yeah, that was kind of, that was deep. Yeah. Nikki, you supposed to snap your fingers.
I know. We can now we see why you say it's so personal.
Right.
That was definitely very personal. Now,
yes.
Let me ask this: if I'm not getting too personal, right? And I'm gonna do my best not to.
Right.
Was it before, or was it during? Did you write this during going through these types of things, or seeing someone go through it, or was it
this was
after
definitely during? I wrote this during, and I think really towards the end of it, I was coming out of it. And I
Okay.
had realized it's like one of those things, like I said, I write when I find that clarity, when that clarity comes to me. And I think I was
Yeah.
really at the end of it. I was coming out of it. I was realizing that I was
Mm.
trapped, right? Like when the door
Yeah.
gets locked and you realize it's locked, I was at that moment that I realized the door was locked and I had
Mm.
truly isolated myself. And now I was in the motion of thinking how to get out. But I wrote that in the
Mm.
sense of like
Yeah.
I unrealized.
Okay. When you wrote that, did that help you get out of it? Like,
That was my
was
next
that
question.
like, yeah, like, because you know how you have to do, you know how some people do stuff to get over certain stuff. Was that like a stepping stone to help you get out of that situation? Like emotionally, did it help you release? Like, is that like a form of release to you?
I think I wouldn't say that it helped me get out, right? It was a lot of work to get out. But I
Right.
think it
Mm.
was that moment when I wrote this, and after I wrote it, that I realized that I had to get out.
Mm.
So I
So yeah,
think
it was
Yeah,
a
that's what I was searching
emotional
for.
help.
Yes,
Yes.
because I don't
Right.
think
yes,
I
Right.
yes.
realized before that I was trapped until after I, went
Mm.
back and reread it and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you took the question right out of my mouth.
Yeah, that
Anyway, like
happens.
that was my next that was my next question because I almost feel like that was like that boost, like that realization. You wrote your truth
Yeah.
and also wrote your escape.
Right, because I
You know
think
what I'm
if you
saying?
didn't have a way to get that out,
Come
it will
on.
ball you would probably still be in it.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that that's a way to release to get the ball going, you know what I mean?
Like
And
have
for you
you
to have
ever
that gift is
have
amazing.
you ever been I'm pretty sure most of us have experienced this. Those who actually can give some good advice, right? But have you
Right.
ever been giving somebody some advice and you just giving yourself advice at the same time? And it was freestyle. It's
Yeah.
like you just coming from the heart. And then you like, yo, I just okay, I'm gonna do that too. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Yes, that's epic. That is epic. And
Man.
so what's the title of that?
Sleeping with the enemy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now we got some ladies in the comments where we don't feel like we don't slept with the enemy before. Can I get an amen? Okay.
Hey, it's some men in here too.
Amen.
No, for
Yeah,
real.
amen. We talk about the ladies.
Well,
But yeah.
no. Listen, it's more
Look,
ladies in
Eric's
here.
talking about some hey man.
Yeah. It's more ladies in here, but for real,
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
men. I personally have also been in that situation where you just like,
Yeah.
yo, what was I doing?
Now,
Like,
if you think about it, what was our escape then? You know, some of us, was going to the next person and that didn't
yeah,
end right. Some of us had this, but when you have a passion for something and you put it into your passion,
mm-hmm,
it helps you escape. It helps you realize it takes the speck from over your eyes. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm,
When you can pour into yourself through your gifts, through your talents and things of that nature. When you use that pain, when you use that to pour into something you're good at, to pour into something you're passionate about, and you don't even know that it helped. You some people never even probably realize that right there is what helps.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
And someone hearing that poem,
yeah.
will find their escape as well.
Girl,
You
you
know
need
what
to
I'm
publish
saying?
that child.
Man. Now let me ask you this. Um have you ever counted how many poems you got?
It's crazy. I recently just moved. And I found like journals from like years ago. And I happened
Yo.
to
I
just be
love when that
flipping
happens.
through it, whether or not I wanted to like throw them away if they were empty. And I found like at least four journals with that, the old composition notebooks, the ones
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, we
we
got a
got like
few.
a
the
thousand.
Yeah,
marble.
we got a few of those. Yeah.
I have three of those filled with back and front pages. And it's not from like adult
Mm,
kind. This is like adolescent,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
preteen kind, full of poetry. So I would
Oh,
have to go
that's
back and
lit.
count how many poems I have, but I almost threw it away had I not flipped through it and realized, like, dang, I was actually going through some stuff at 12 years old.
Yeah.
I was talking about some real stuff, okay. But yeah, I haven't counted it, but I
Yes.
definitely realized I have three composition notebooks full of poetry.
Yes. Don't you love when you write some stuff for a long time, like a while in the past, and then you come to your future and you realize how far you came by looking at that stuff. I just went through that. I was looking at some of my notebooks and I was like, dang, girl, you was going through it. You was a mess, child. But then you overcome it and you see how you overcome it. And then a lot of that stuff is, that's why writing down, I just love when people write. I love when people speak. That's why poetry is, I just love it. It's just like preaching to me. Everybody can't do it now.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Especially when you're anointed to do it, meaning like you just made for that. It just come up off of you. It's just in you. It's built in you, So, yeah.
So let me see this, right? Can you, like, do you have, what's the oldest one that you can remember?
The oldest one I can remember. Oh, it was Monsters Under the Bed. I'm not gonna be able to do it word for word.
Monsters Under the Bed sound dope.
You hear once upon a time stories that tell you about fairy tales. But I realized that fairy tales are for princesses and I wasn't born in a castle. I'm more of the thunderstorms and hide under the bed, but don't go too far because the words that are said are listened to. They're watching you. I was taught that monsters only hide under your bed, but I realized that monsters walk through the door. They are the same ones that say hello and pick you up from sports. You see, I was taught that monsters are only ones that hide under bed, but they're your uncles, your friends, your fathers, and family. Monsters Under the Bed. Yeah, that's all I can remember. But I did write that because
I
was a kid and I realized that monsters were not the things that people say hide under your bed.
Right.
Yeah, your monsters can be your stepdads, your guardians, you know what I mean? If you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's
so yeah, I can hear it in you. Wow, that was powerful. Absolutely. I could hear. I'm like, yeah, I went through that too. So yeah. Okay.
That is crazy. But I definitely remember that because it was one of the first poems that I ever gave to Lisette. And if you guys remember from my last time here, Lisette was my therapist who ripped up my letter. And it was one of my first. And that was kind of the way that she realized I was being hurt in that house because I done writ down monsters. And, with a therapist, she realized like monsters coming through the door. Don't sound right.
Yeah. I heard it. Especially women that been through some of the similar things. Like it's like when you know. You know what I mean? And that's very tough to talk about. So for you to put it into your passion, put it into your talent, is good because I didn't have a way to put it in.
Very brave.
Well, I put it into to dance, and for you to be able to put it into your writings, for you to be able to speak it is, that's amazing because it was hard for me to speak that as a child. So for you to be able to write that and the therapist that you had, man, it's like you had a guardian angel your whole time, girl. Okay.
Oh, I definitely I say it all the time. I'm blessed and highly favored. Me and God have gotten along at one point because I didn't understand his way and his path for me, but I definitely know I was always protected. Definitely looking back, it had to be. I wouldn't be here if I wasn't.
You had to.
Yeah, and it's what, and the ugly part of the world is that there's young girls going through that right now as well.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like the sharing, the fact that you choose to share this.
Yes, Sam.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to that. Yep. Voice too. That we go through things so others don't have to, or others can find a way out a lot sooner. You know what I'm saying? Like for others to find a way out a lot sooner. So shouts out to you for being brave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For real, for real. Hey, if y'all just tuning in, this is Solid Ground. We here every single Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, on Solid Ground. This is where passion meets purpose
Yes, yes,
and the
yes.
stories come alive. This
Mm-hmm.
is my lovely co-host and wife, She, and we got KindHearted
Hello.
Babe in the box who came to
Yes.
share her passion for poetry. You know, she's
Mm-hmm.
kicking off the National Poetry Month.
It's real
You
in the
know what I
building.
mean? National Poetry Month was actually established back in 1996, we learned. And
Yeah.
it was simply to do what we doing right now. Bringing recognition to
Yes.
the achievements and to the passion of poetry, because poetry definitely helps. You know what I mean? It
Yes.
helps.
Yes.
Even there's things, you know, I got pieces of poetry I wrote that I can always go back and, you know, even if I'm
Okay.
feeling some type of way, it'll bring you out of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
Yes.
we tapped into a
KindHearted
couple
Babe for
of
top badge.
poems. Yep, KindHearted Babe for top badge. We gonna scream that from the top.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so you know, we talked about we talked a little bit about how you discovered,
There's another puddle we just pulled up.
you know, how you discovered your passion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, talk to us about the journey, about maybe what were some of the struggles when you actually developed this passion that you encountered?
Yeah,
And
like
how
once
did
you got established, you know, you
Yeah.
went through what you went through, boom, boom, boom.
I think for me it was being silenced. I think a lot of people didn't like what I was writing about. They thought that it was too melancholy, that it was inappropriate, that that I should be writing about something like positive and rainbows. And I
Mhm.
thought to myself, I had to remember what Lisette told me. If I was going to write anything and put my name on anything, then it had to be authentically who I was at that time. And so I think
Yes.
it was more of a reflection of them that they didn't like than me of what I was writing. Something
Mm.
what I was writing made you so uncomfortable that you
Yeah.
realize this 12-year-old is in this dark place and I'm kind of playing a part with it. So I think that's really what it was. But I was silenced a lot. A lot of my stuff got taken. I got a lot of talks
Ooh.
about being positive and faking it till I make it. Don't write about things that are so sad. And it was kind of
Mm.
contradicting, but thank God I always had Lisette who really poured into me and was like, "No, write what you feel. You can't fake
Right.
what people have this thing about faking it till you make it." And Lisette says a person can't fake
Mm.
to swim; they'll end
Yes.
up drowning. So you want to
Come on now. Come on now,
Girl.
because it's true. And a lot of that's that narrative that people have used to keep people down. You know what I mean? Like the same thing as, you know, the game is to be sold and not
Mhm.
told. And it's not true. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That is not
The
the
world
case.
lies to
You know what I
us a
mean?
lot.
They definitely have lied to us over and over again, you know?
Right. They'll lie.
And
But we
so
know the truth. Once you find out the truth will always be superior to fact.
Mhm.
and the truth
Mhm.
makes people uncomfortable.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
They
truth
say you're
hurts. The truth
pushy.
hurts
They
people.
say they say you're
Let
too
it set you
vulgar.
free
Like, you
though.
know what I mean? Like, okay, you wanted me to sugarcoat it,
Yeah, the truth
you
hurts,
know?
but the truth also sets you free.
You
You
know,
know,
Yeah.
free from
that's
that bondage, free from that mental
mhm.
illness, free from all of that extra stuff. You know, if you're not speaking your truth or you're not living in your truth, it can bottle you up, and then they put a label on you.
Mm.
Mhm.
Now, kind. Um, I know you got some more for us, right?
Of
So,
Yes.
course.
can you give us something, one of your most recents,
Okay. Look at him
or
trying to
share
get the
what you want to
juice.
share with us? Let me
Yeah.
stop. Share what you want to share with us. Put it that way.
We here for it,
Yeah, we here for it.
Kind hearted for top edge, by the way.
Well, my most recent one was 3 days ago. It's not very long, so I'll share that one and then I'll
Oh,
share something else for you.
okay.
I
Nice.
am in a
Let's
new
Okay.
go.
relationship, so this is probably kind of like all lovey-dovey. Okay. He sees me. He sees parts of me that I thought I had hidden away, and he basks in it. He basks in it. All the cracks that I thought were unfixable, he somehow helped me mend. He's my man. He brings me joy and light when I thought that the sun had faded away. He makes my heart skip beats like I'm palpitating. Yet he's the string that holds my kite, and I'm okay with it. He makes me feel alive again when I thought parts of me had died, when I thought the men that I once loved have broken me to the point that no one else would want me. He chose me, and I choose him. I'm going to bask in this love as long as it lasts. I'm gonna walk in the moonlight and dance in the rain with the man that has chosen to love me through my pain. I'm happy, and he makes me smile. And I hope that I bring him joy the way that he makes me feel safe. Because for the first time in this little heart of mine, I can say that it's safe in the hands of this man who has chosen to love me through my pain.
Not you start laughing.
Right.
She really wanted to laugh like a teenage girl,
Right.
but she had to keep it
You know
adult
you
right
in
now.
love. You know you in love when you get the giggles.
She was like, "Yo, okay."
That was nice.
and-
Yes, I love that for you.
Now, what's the name of that one?
I'm in love.
Corey.
Okay, not your name, period.
Corey. It's Corey.
Okay, shout out to Corey. Kind of hard
Oh,
to top
wow.
age. Kind of hard to
Off
top
top.
age.
Off opera.
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna write me one called Solid Ground. We're gonna do one together, Gary. We're gonna do this.
Until I stood on solid ground.
You
Yes.
understand me?
Solid ground.
Knowing
all right.
her is gonna start off about me, but it's gonna end up about God.
Probably. Probably gonna give it all to Jesus. Just saying.
Yo,
But two loves combined.
hallelujah. You know what I'm saying?
Amen. Amen.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Baby, go ahead and let the audience know how they can get on the show.
Well, this is Solid Ground every single Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Mhm.
If you want to participate on the show and talk about your talent or talk about your passion, you can reach out to either myself, my wife, or Nikki 24/7, who is in the comments. You know what I'm saying? Make
Nikki,
sure
go ahead
y'all
and
tap
comment.
in. Or also Brittany as well.
Yes.
Brittany is, she family. So
It's
she,
Brittany B.
So whoever you can reach out, fave somebody if you up in here. But right now it's all about KindHearted Babe.
Yes.
Boom.
KindHearted Babe, tie badge.
Tie badge. Ding, 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 ding. We're gonna ding, ding, ding on that. Right? Okay, so now how would you say that your poetry has shaped your life? How has it been a part of shaping your life?
Okay.
Oh, I think it's definitely kept me unjaded. I think people come across me and they, once they get to know me and hear my story, that's the first thing they say to me is like, wow, you're really not jaded. Like you're super nice and sweet. And I feel like writing kind of helped me get out of my way. I feel like if I got stuck in my head and had no way to get those feelings out, maybe I would have become bitter. Maybe I would have been angry, but I've gotten them out. And I've always just realized I wanted my body and my mind to be filled with love and kindness. And so writing helped me get that out. If those emotions were still trapped inside, then maybe I would be bitter. Maybe I would be jaded, but I'm not. And I feel like that's really a huge way that it's helped shape me. I think a lot of kids act out because they can't necessarily express themselves. And because at a young age, I learned how to express those emotions by writing, it kind of helped me balance out, my personality.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yes.
You just gave me an idea.
Right. What you just thinking of now?
Well, on the parenting tip.
Oh,
Because sometimes you can express to your children as much as you want that, hey, you can come and talk to me about anything.
Right. But
they just still don't exercise it.
Yes.
Because it's still not that easy for them.
They need something to pour in,
Right down
and I always say that's the reason why I love investing. Like my son, he's 12. So he's going through, I don't know if y'all have any kids that age yet, but you know how they go through that transition stage. So that's the reason why I wanted to put him in certain things like drums. You know what I mean? That's why and that's all he does. Boom, boom. You can tell he puts his passion into it. And so, that's why I love the fact that he's coping with that. You know what I'm saying? I done already started with the little one. I done put her in dance and tap and ballet and jazz. I done put her in there. So, if your kids are expressing themselves in something, like how you had a teacher of some sort to counsel you into the writing and to be authentic with you, you know what I'm saying? Something like that to introduce you to that. Some people do it in sports, some people do it in performing arts. You had the chance to do it in, this is some sort of a performing arts, you know what I mean?
It's absolutely.
Yeah, so to put them in stuff like that, because younger, going through the monsters in the bed, I had to take it out on tap. You know what I'm saying? Tap. And that's how I became like the number one tap dancer. You know what I'm saying? So they have something to help them cope with these things instead of keeping it balled in, because we all see what happens to the children that keep it balled in.
Yeah.
We see what happens to them.
Yeah.
So yes.
So yeah, like I said, that was very inspirational to say, hey, write your thoughts down.
Brittany, those are
it don't matter who you is, whether even on top of sports, even on top of drums, like, hey, writing is healthy.
You were designed to put your pain into something, not keep it.
Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look at all those beautiful songs that David wrote. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Look at all those beautiful songs that he wrote.
Right, David from the Bible.
He was going through it. You know what I'm saying?
He
was going through all types of emotions.
And he wrote them songs.
He could slang a rock, but he couldn't. You know what I'm saying?
He knew how to do
a slingshot, and he danced.
Danced like David.
And he definitely put it there. You know how we.
He put it in performing arts.
You know how we rock on solid ground.
Jesus put it in building.
We're gonna tie it right back into the biblical point of it. For real. Now, you said you had something else for.
Yeah.
And this was written in 2019, so we're going a little back for you.
Okay, let's bring it back.
Miscommunication is just nonverbal communication. You see, we're taught as kids, closed mouths don't get fed, but we're also taught to be careful what we say, because not everyone hears the same. That may be too deep for some of y'all. So let me break it down. You remember in elementary when we used to play the game telephone? You had to sit in a circle, and the object of the game was for the person to say something and pass it along until everyone heard it. But at the end of the game, what was said was never the same. No matter how clear the first person spoke the words, the last person never got the message. I've come accustomed to holding my tongue, afraid to speak my words, for they may be misheard or word wrongly interpreted. Why is it that we can play out conversations so clearly in our head, but we are faced with the opportunity to speak, we hide behind ourselves? Why do we scream inside but never utter it out loud? Oh, true words I dare to say, things that could have been lifted off our chest, we somehow hide away. It's a childish thing because they said closed mouths don't get fed. So wouldn't it apply to me as an adult that if I don't speak my feelings, if I don't let my words flow, then how would you ever be able to open the door to my heart, open the door to my mind? Because I've left too many words unsaid. So I'm going to stick with that. Closed mouths don't get fed. I'm going to remember that the next time someone steps to the plate, that is me, someone steps to the plate to confront me. I'm going to make sure that I open my mouth and utter those words, whether it hurts their feelings, whether it breaks their spirit. I got to stop holding my tongue before I swallow my tongue. I got to stop letting my words stick in my mouth like a hot rod down my throat because I'm afraid to speak. I have to always choose me, whether they agree or disagree, because like my granny used to say, closed mouths don't get fed. And I'm tired of my feelings and my feelings and emotions being misled because of the words I left unsaid.
Girl, look at God speaking through you.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness.
No
That was
coincidence.
deep. It's the reason why I say that. I love the people that we're surrounded by. I love how God is connecting everybody with passions. I love how this show is I just love everything about what's going on right now, and I'm just so happy to be here. But we have been going through some things and asking God for something, and little do you understand that what you just spoke right now just answered some of the things that we were just feeling. And it's just so cool. It's not a coincidence. It's
so
all
we ain't
fate.
surprised,
Yeah, I'm
right?
not surprised, but I'm just like he comes through authentic people. You know what I'm saying? People with true passions, people that understand truth. You know what I mean? He speaks through those. So for him to speak through you right now to us, it just, girl, we locked in. Ain't no switch it up.
You gotta think about it.
Yes.
Like,
Hey, sis.
That's how it goes. Like, and it's wild that we just, prior to you even saying that poem, we were actually literally just talking about that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's no coincidence.
Who told you your silence was God?
Come on now. You know what
I'm saying? Who told you that? So for you, we know the kingdom of heaven is voice activated, baby. And that's just everything to do with your life, baby. You speak. Now you make sure you watch what you say, but you speak and you have courage to speak.
Powerful.
Yes, and we know that your words don't have no sense of humor. So you speaking your truth and you speaking up for yourself and you speaking this stuff. It tells you in Exodus. Who told you that your silence was God? Who told you that? God told you to speak, baby.
Amen.
He gave you authority, and so for you to say something like that, and especially the things that we've been experiencing this week, I know we're not the only ones because it's too powerful right now. I know we're not the only ones that understand this, and clearly you wrote it because God was speaking to you as well. So, I just think that was amazing. All of your poetries today has been uplifting, has been testimonial. I hope it was some breakthroughs tonight just by coming and pulling up. We had somebody in the comments like, man, how I get on here? And I love having like authentic guests. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Authentic people to pull up around us and be surrounded by that. You know what I mean? That is amazing.
She was nervous about a whole hour to herself. I'm like, come on.
Who?
Kind.
What?
Yeah, like you nervous about it.
I mean, that's normal though, but she got courage though, because courage is when you nervous and you a little scared, but you still do it. That's courage. Yeah.
She went back. Yeah, she definitely
if you be like, no, I'm sorry, I can't.
Let's go. You know what I'm saying?
But no, that's okay.
It's wonderful.
I feel like them nerves is the spirit in us.
You have no idea.
But that's normal though.
Justice, but I feel like my whole face is just so tight from smiling because y'all have me.
Period. KindHearted for top badge.
KindHearted for top badge, y'all.
KindHearted babe.
Y'all see what y'all top badge is like already. She got that already. That's
right.
her.
I see. I feel like she's already a top streamer, but top streamer. You just go ahead and give it a badge. What are y'all waiting on?
Yeah, exactly.
Y'all ain't here. Hello, Mike.
You know what I'm saying? Like Chris. You know what's cracking.
You know what I'm saying? We know y'all want to.
Let's do a little bit of everything. You know what I'm saying, Chris?
Yeah.
Y'all know how Star Gang get down anyway. They
right.
Moving in, they move as one.
Yes.
And they unit is strong. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes.
Shout out to Lord Just Me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For real. Shout out to him and the rest of the Star Gang.
Yeah, CEO of the Star Gang. Let's go.
Now, okay, so I'm a kid that's going through it. Okay. I'm a kid that's going through it. All I do is read books. I've been in a bad position. My parents aren't there for me. Being raised by my grandma. I would like to start writing.
Mm-hmm.
What is your advice for me?
Find a place. It's going to sound, no pun intended, right? But find a place and find solid ground, right? Stand on your 2 feet, sit on the ground, find somewhere solid where you feel solid, whether it's in your room. I used to write in my closet, somewhere that I felt safe. So you have to find a place where you feel solid and within yourself, feel safe. And then don't try to write what you think other people write, like what you heard people sound like, what you read. Write what you feel, whether it's you talking to yourself, you talking about a situation. Be authentic and let it flow. I feel like for me, once you find that center, that solidness within yourself, and that pen starts writing, it kind of flows out of you. The pain kind of flows out, what you're feeling flows out. And a lot of people, it can be scary. It can be scary
Yeah.
to sit in that and kind of dwell in that. But how do you heal from something until you experience it, right? So
Mm.
until you fully open up that wound and start writing, I don't think you can really overcome it. So my advice would be to sit in it, open up every single pore you have on your skin and your body and bask in it and let it flow out of you. And then whatever comes out of it comes out of it. It's not for anyone to judge. It's no wrong or right way to write it. But the most authentic writing, definitely from the scenario that you gave me, comes from basking in your pain. I sometimes remember I felt like I was being swallowed. And that's a scary feeling at 13 to feel like, oh my God, no, 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 I don't want to open this door. I don't want to write about this. But I realized the only way to get it out of me was to open it up. You can't open up a can of corn without opening up a can of corn. You know what I'm saying?
You can't get the corn without opening it. Facts.
KindHearted Babe in here is preaching the gospel and don't even know it.
Cooking though. Cooking.
She is speaking truth in what has written, to be honest with you, in modern day form, I shall say. Yes. That's I love that.
Definitely was the gospel.
That was definitely the gospel. Y'all know how we keep our head in the word.
Sit in it. Sit in it.
In modern day form, it definitely was.
Because there's something to gain from sitting in it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. Count it all as joy. That's where it comes from. When you go through these things, you look back and you say, well, I went through that for this.
Right.
For real, man.
Right.
Shouts out to
and the fact that you write it down, that's literally you reaching in your higher self. And who wouldn't want to live in their higher self? But you gotta actually do it. Like you said, you gotta actually open a coin.
You got to open.
How you gonna live your higher self
before you get?
Yeah, how you can't eat the corn if you don't open the corn. You can't live in your higher self if you don't go to it. So yes, that's how you get to it, y'all.
You can't get all that pain out if you don't open up.
Right, that's how you get to it.
Now, KindHearted for top badge.
Yes.
Go ahead and plug yourself one more time. You know what I'm saying?
Hi, guys. My name is KindHearted Babe, Queen of Care-a-Lot Land, where if no one else cares, Kind cares. I'm a nighttime streamer. You can find me anytime after 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am one of the cohorts of She Code every Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This month, it's hosted in Top Badge 2 Cents Live. If you do not find me in Care-a-Lot Land, you can always find me where the stars are, in the palace with Lord Just Me. Truly and honestly, it's such a pleasure to be on the show with you all again. And I just want to say to everyone, in a world where you guys can choose to do and be anything, I truly hope you guys choose to be kind, but start with yourself. Okay?
Shouts out to you, KindHearted. Thank you for coming on here and sharing and being a guest again.
Amazing.
We really appreciate you.
It gets better every time, girl.
Every
Thank
time.
you.
Every time.
Oh, I just love you guys. Thank you.
We love you too.
We love you too, girl. Shout out to KindHearted Babe for top badge, y'all.
Always. Now, hey, y'all, just a couple of little announcements. You know what I'm saying? We will be going on vacation.
Yes.
So the next 2 weeks, most likely the next 2 weeks, hopefully just next week. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We will be on the road. We are traveling across the country.
20 hours.
Taking a nice 20-hour stride.
Yes.
And we gonna be out and about. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So we most definitely thank you guys. I'll put up some flyers just to keep y'all.
Y'all can also click on his name and follow on Instagram and TikTok for all the latest updates as well.
And y'all know how I rock when I drive. Last time I drove, y'all seen what it was. I I was live. I'm gonna need some of y'all lives too to stay awake. So we
Right.
definitely
Yeah, when it's
gonna be
when it's
moving.
my turn to drive, I'm still trying to figure out how I'm
Yeah.
just like, oh, my head hurt.
Yeah, we gonna be in there. She got 10 hours. It's 10. I ain't trying to hear that. But hey,
We gonna see if I can make it. Sam, we gonna see if I can make it out.
don't y'all encourage that.
Okay.
But straight up though. So y'all, wish us safe travels. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Of
yes.
course. You know what I mean? Because we gonna be out there. I'm most likely gonna go live during the middle of the night while I'm driving.
Okay.
I'll try to do the late night driving instead. That way
I'm definitely doing day. Y'all know I can't see that good.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
But straight up, absolutely.
Yes.
And so we appreciate that, y'all. You know what I mean? And once again, it was another epic episode. You know what I mean? Shout out to Nikki 24/7. Shout out to Brittany, the admins that's in the building that make things happen.
Shout out
And
to
we gonna keep
KindHearted
it
Star
cracking.
Gang.
KindHearted for top badge. You know what I mean? And we appreciate that. Thank you, Sam. Thank you. And y'all stay tuned because me and the Star Gang got something in the making.
Cooking up in the kitchen.
We got something in the makings, cooking up in the kitchen, and we gonna be going live straight to the tube. Yeah. All that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So y'all stay tuned, man. And always just look out. But once again, I am solid. This is solid ground where passion meets purpose and the stories come alive. And this is my beautiful, lovely wife. And we are together. We are Tag's favorite couple.
Yes.
In case y'all didn't know them.
And you know what happens with favorites.
Yeah, dig. So I holla. We on solid ground, solid ground.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.